An ion is an atom or group of atoms that has gained or lost one or more of its valence electrons. So remember, valence electrons are outer shell electrons that can participate in the formation of a chemical bond. So they are the ones being shared or transferred to form connection or a bond between atoms. So let's have, for example, the sodium atom. Sodium has 11 protons and 11 electrons, so therefore the charge is zero or neutral. This one is the valence electron. So as you can see, sodium has one valence electron. So when it loses one electron, it will become a sodium ion. So take note of the number of electrons. So it lost one electron. Therefore, the charge will be positive 1. Another example is this. So we have 8 protons and 8 electrons. So count the number of valence electron. You will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you need 2 more electrons for it to become stable. So to be stable, this atom will get 2 electrons, and when that happens, the number of electrons increases. So therefore, the charge will be -2. The octet rule is a tendency for atoms to prefer to have 8 electrons in the valence shell. So now we've studied the naming. What do you think is the name of this atom? This is an oxygen atom, and the other one is an oxygen ion. So remember, if the ion is positive, it will be called cation. If it's negative, it is called an ion. Just remember, a cat has paw. So cation, positive. An ion stands for a negative ion. So remember this, positive cation, negative an ion. So if it's a group of atoms, they will be called polyatomic ions, so, which we will discuss later. So how do we name ions? Negative ions or anions usually end in "ide". For example, the fluorine atom. Fluorine has 9 electrons and 9 protons. So when it gains 1 electron, you will have 10 electrons, therefore the charge will be negative. So it will be called fluoride. Remove the INE and change it to IDE. Question: why does fluorine gain electron and not lose electron? Okay, so remember that fluorine has 7 valence electrons. So to be stable in a bond, it is easier for fluorine to get electrons than to lose its electrons. Positive ions are just given the element name followed by the word ion. The same as the example a while ago. Sodium, when it loses electron, it will just be called sodium ion. Sodium atom has 1 valence electron, so to be stable when bonded, it is easier for it to lose that electron than to get 7 more electrons. Because if you get 7 more electrons, you will need more energy. So to conserve energy, the sodium atom will just give its electron. This slide shows some of the common ions that we'll be using. So for the cations, you have the calcium ion, hydrogen ion, iron 2 ion, iron 3 ion. So for the anions, we have the chloride, fluoride, bromide, and oxide. The question: how does the iron 3 ion differ from the iron 2 ion? What is the charge of an oxide ion? How does its number of electrons compare to its number of protons? So the iron 3 ion has a charge of positive 3. So it has 1 less electron than the iron 2 ion, which has a charge of positive 2. An oxide ion has a charge of negative 2. This slide shows more of the common ions. So familiarize yourselves with this because we're going to use this.